Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for stopping in. I see we've got a couple people here. Before we get started, I want to play something, and I'll explain why in just a minute. I didn't catch it from the first time. I'm Lucretia.
I'm Richard.
And the reason I wanted to share that is because I needed to do that. I needed to do that. As some of you know, I've been struggling a little bit the last 2 months that we've been back from the desert, which I found my phone. Hold, please. Yes. Sorry for that interruption. I had to get something squared away. So I want to get back to why I played that. Why I played that little clip from our beginning. That's because I have been struggling a bit since I got back from the desert 2 months ago. I fell in love with traveling. I really did. And by the way, to my little sister Priscilla Hughes, who is out here today, oh my God, it just went flying through my head. Oh, I fell in love with the rock pile, with the rock quarry that is Quartzsite, Arizona. I can't help it. It happened. I own it. So when we started out, this was about fun. Richard and I really enjoyed the idea of having a YouTube channel. As it grew, as most of you know, Richard took a back seat to being here with me. He does not prefer this side of it, but he works on the RV, does all the support work to move us around. So I just really needed to replay that for myself and get reconnected with that genuine joy that I felt at doing a YouTube channel, because I was dragging. I was having a hard time focusing, figuring out where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And we'll talk a little more about that. But before that, I want to say hello to some people who've already been here for a while. Catherine Cook, thank you so much for coming in and coming from Roy and Becky's. I was over there for this morning. I usually go there almost every day. Roy and Becky's Travels has been foundational to me. And I don't know that they're in the chat, but if someone would and could drop Roy and Becky's link, I would appreciate it, because they are kind of my model for how to behave on screen. Ghetto Cowgirl, I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, hello. And I will look for your channel further. I'll look on Facebook. I could not find it on YouTube. And I know I'm lagging. I can see that. And I have no clue why. Let's see who else might be here. Again, I said my little sister Priscilla is in here today. Thank you, Priscilla, for coming. I know you're busy and you have lots of stuff you're doing. I apologize. My backdrop. Ain't it cool? I'm in my bedroom today. I left the birds behind because I did get quite a few complaints about the sound of the birds, that they were distracting. And I understand that. It actually took me a while. I have fallen in love with the birds, but definitely don't want to do anything on my channel that is negative, to the best of my ability. And here we have Kaylee. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about Kaylee. Be prepared, Kaylee. Let's see, chatting with Ghetto Girl or Ghetto Cowboy Girl about her channel a little bit, trying to find it for her. If anybody else does, that would be great. Hubby Richard is in the chat today. Here's to Richard being awake. Let's see what else we got going on down here. Lucky Dog Productions moderator, Sue, thank you for coming today. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try and log into my show today on my phone. I did find it. Thank you, Kaylee, because it kind of helps me a little bit, see different things that are going on. Oh, goodness, I thought I had all that turned off. And it's going to require me to listen. Okay. So then we have Destinations Delight. Thank you for coming. I don't get to see you a lot, but I'm glad you're here today. Linda Barker, thank you for coming in. Roy and Becky Raid. And again, if somebody has not already dropped their link, I'd love you to drop their link. I adore Roy and Becky. I got to camp with them. They were extremely warm and welcoming and helpful. For gosh sakes, they came and let us into the camp. I don't know what we would have done without them. Victoria May, Life Unfiltered, another person. If you could drop her link too. Look, Victoria May has a, on Wednesday nights, Wednesday afternoons, I believe it's 4 o'clock Pacific time. I believe it's Wednesday, 4 o'clock Pacific time. Victoria May does a show. It is a karaoke, for God's sakes. I can't believe I forgot karaoke. So Victoria May does a karaoke and really could use support, and Victoria May supports every channel that I know personally. So if anybody could make it over there at 4 o'clock on Wednesdays, that would be very helpful to Victoria. Oh, there they are, Roy and Becky's Travels. You're tearing your set down. That's cute. I'll tell you what, I was just explaining to people that are here how you guys are foundational to our channel personally, and I say that honestly because we got to, first of all, meet you beforehand. I kind of got an idea of things I wanted to do based on things I watched you guys do, and as it turned out, the partner thing didn't work out like yours is, and that's fine with me. Everybody's show is a little different, and I love watching the two of you, Roy and Becky, together. Richard does not like being on the screen, mainly because he doesn't like sitting down. But anyway, so I had someone drop your link, and then we've got, oh, I don't want to miss anybody. And then down here, let's see, the Traveling Dingbats. They're new, and I have watched some of their videos. Loved it. If somebody could find the Traveling Dingbats, and please drop their link. I really wanted to introduce you to the group of people who come through our channel and through Roy and Becky's channel, because a lot of the same people come and go from these channels. And so I really was hoping you'd come in today. Uh-oh, what happened to my computer? Oh my God. My computer took a hiatus. The Modern King, my sweet son. So that is the name of his channel. And it's not like mine at all, people. Okay. I'm just saying. but he's a wonderful son. Yesterday, he and his dad and his husband were at the store doing some shopping, and he knew I needed coffee pods. And his dad wanted to get dark roast. Now, I'm not a preferable dark roast person, but we've worked it out. Richard and I've worked out that I use half and half, and so it melts it down a little bit. And Brent was just like, it's Mother's Day. She likes light roast. And he fought for my coffee, and he called me and he got me on the phone. I love Brent so much. He's an only child. And, you know, they are the center of the universe. And as a matter of fact, I found out I was going to be a mom on Mother's Day about 32 years ago. Let's see, who else we got here? Sue Kelly. Now that's a new name to me too. Sue Kelly, welcome. I'm glad you're stopping by. Oh, that's all right. Sue Kelly is my guest today, it looks like. I did not know your name. All right. So what time are we at right now? So today, let me go through and welcome some people, and I will then get you going. We have an interview to happen here shortly with Campgoer. I always want to give you a different channel name. I always want to say Campgoer. It's Campgoer One. Sue Kelly, thank you for coming. Should have dropped someone off today. So we're going to be starting with her shortly. Julie, hello to you. Glad you're here so much. Glad you're here. Rideshare. Okay, here's a mouthful. Rideshare Road Warrior Rick. Thank you for coming today. I really appreciate it. And then we have Naj Ruqui. Thank you, Naj, for coming. I really am glad you're here. Angie Hay Family Adventures. Thank you for coming. I've watched some of their videos. Another good channel. Love it. Since they're new, I'd also like someone to please drop their link, as well as let me see how many. I do have a few. I do have a few moderators in here. So if someone could also drop the link for Angie Hay Family Adventures and Rideshare Road Warrior Rick, because we do appreciate you coming in. All right, so it looks like I'm at the end of my list of people who are here right now. And if you could remember, thumbs up, great. We love it. It helps with our analytics, apparently. All right, so my next order of business is, I want to get rid of something here. I'm going to share the screen again. We have, let me find her. Well, I'm going to try this one more time. Maybe it's a video file I need. All right. We have at Burning Up the Roads. We have our very first. We have our very first channel member, Kaylee. Kaylee is now a partner of Burning Up the Roads. And I could not be happier that it's Kaylee who's our first member. So Kaylee, thank you so much. You're deeply appreciated. You're wonderful at the job that you do for all the people on YouTube. And now if I could figure out how to extricate myself from this video file. There we go. Come on, people. Someone help. All right, I'll find out how. We're going to close it, and I believe that's how we do it. I believe that's how we do it. Nope. Well. Kaylee, you may be hanging out with us longer than I have no idea how to get rid of that. Let me work a little bit. Give me a second. Don't leave. Well, that's just weird. I don't know what's happened, people. But nope, we don't want that. We want that. Yay, I figured it out. See, I'm not a pro yet. I'm still learning. I know we have a few people in here, but I want to get started. So if you could, the traveling, let's see, I just want to look one more time. I know Van Vita Travels. Hello, Paula. You did a great live stream. You've done a couple of, well, all of your live streams are great. But we're going to be chatting. Paul and I are going to be chatting, as I'm going to talk with some other people as well, about community support for other channels. So thank you so much for coming in. All right, guys. So I want to get started with our interview. And I'm going to I'm going to drop a link for Campgoer One. And I'm going to drop it here in the channel. And you can pick that up anytime, sweetie. All right. So in the meantime, I'm going to share the screen with, oh, goodness. I need to get rid of that. All right. I'm going to it's been a few weeks. This is what happens when you for me, not being present on my own channel much. All right, I want to play a short clip of Campgoer One from one of her videos.
Okay, let's see if this crap works. Let me see, is it there? Am I recording? I think so. Okay. Anyhow, today I'm going over to the truck stop. I'm gonna go and get in my shit tank, empty the crap. I haven't emptied it since I went to Lake Havasu. So I got my little pilot receipt from last night. I went to go dump last night, but the daylight got away from me, so I don't think it's real fun to be dumping in the darkness.
I love that video. So, Sue, I mean, I just had you up here. You were just in the basement. I love that video because, let me drop that again. Something happened. Because that's very real. Anybody who has done this knows that's a real thing that has to happen. And the fact that she's so honest and real about it, I love it. That's, I think, one of the reasons that I really was happy that she was willing to come and do an interview. While I'm waiting for her, Fairy Dust, thank you for coming. I am really happy to see you in here. We have a few people that have been really staunch supporters of our channel. One of them is Fairy Dust. Fairy Dust has, this woman was up sending me weather reports at middle of the night when we were traveling down to Arizona, when we were traveling down to make a left. She was one of our biggest supporters. She helped along the way, was always there. Victoria May Life Unfiltered was always there. I cannot thank these people enough, as was Lucky Dog Productions moderator. My little sister, Priscilla Hughes, was always there. She does not have she's not a content creator, but she's definitely a supporter. So some of these people were extremely amazing. Just waiting for Sue to grab that link. Catherine Cook, another one, got to camp with. Thank you, God, for letting us find Catherine and Homer Cook. These people were right there helping, sharing their information, teaching us. It was so amazing. It was, I think it's taken me 2 months to really feel like I've processed it, and I'm a processor. So yeah, I've dropped the link again for Sue. And as soon as you grab that link and come up, we can get started. Thank you so much. So it's taken me a while to get my feet kind of grounded. And we cannot travel right now, but in the very near future, we can't travel for a couple of reasons, not any distance. Richard is waiting, has a PA put in for a prior authorization to have his hernias fixed. He has seen a surgeon and they're working on getting that done. And I want to, and so we're working on that as well. Oh, there it is. As well as y'all know, I need a shoulder replacement, but I'm not going to be getting one this year. I have some weight to lose because it's just a fact, guys. And I'm fine. I'm not someone who's afraid of talking about that. But anyway, so I have to get below a certain BMI. My insurance will not do the surgery unless I do. So it's not going to happen in the immediate future. My thought is it will happen next spring. So that's the way I'm looking at that. And I can live with it. It is something I can live with. It's not a danger to me. It hurts. It hurts. When I was in courtside, I fell and I have 2 tears in my arm, but they're tears they can't fix. They're just such. I had an MRI and they are tears that they cannot go in and fix. They're more of micro tears, so it's going to be painful. So Sue, are you having a hard time getting up here? I'll drop the link again, and all you do, my friend, is have to link onto that, and it should put you back in my basement. Additionally, if you want to share this out, maybe we can get some additional people over here, some new people, some people who are not used to me being back on a stream. So yeah, we're waiting for a couple things. One of them is Richard's surgery. I'll be seeing my neurosurgeon shortly. Had an MRI of my back. And yes, the reason my eyes were so glazed over is the anti-anxiety medicine it takes to get me in an MRI machine, because you kind of have to stuff me in there. No, it's great. They're good. Hello, Ghetto Cowgirl. Glad you're here. So that's what's going on. I'm fairly certain my neurosurgeon is going to want to fix a couple things in my back. I could be wrong, but every time I step down with my left foot, a pain sears down my left leg in the back. So we're going to try and get that taken care of. Let's see what's going on here. No from full. Oh, okay. Traveling. Oh, your full tiny house. They travel with Dana's. No, wait. So traveling dingbacks. Okay, well, I'll have to find out later. All right, so we have our guest for today. Sue, give me a thumbs up and we'll roll. Hello. I am so happy to meet you in person, so to speak.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, you are you've been one of our staunchest, most strong supporters, and we appreciate it so much.
I have 2 sounds coming out. I don't know why. Let me see.
Do you have your YouTube on? If you need, you'll have to shut YouTube down and just stay on StreamYard.
Let me figure it out. I never did this before, so let me see.
Okay. It's a YouTube. Probably you've still got your YouTube going.
Hold on. Let me see here. Okay. I think that's better.
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you good.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about where you're at, if you feel like that is okay? Don't need to say the address, but what part of the country are you in?
I live in Phoenix. I live in the West Valley. I just live right off the 10. So I'm just like right down the road from Quartzsite. Yeah.
No, that's right. You're one of the people who was within a fair, a short distance. We were stuck because we had these monstrous. So we had solar panels that are meant to be put on. They are not ones you can take in and put out and take. They were heavy, real ones that had to be put to the top. And we were there for over 6 weeks, and we did not get them on our roof until like the last day before we left. So we were very stuck in Quartzsite as far as traveling around and seeing the area.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then more towards Phoenix and met you and some other people that I think are in that area.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You are you have a camper. She has basically the same RV as me and Richard.
Yeah.
Tell us about your RV.
Yeah, I bought it about a year ago. I did have a little, I do have still, like a little Toyota. It's a 91 Toyota, but about a year ago, I wanted something bigger because, I've got adult kids and stuff and grandkids. So I just thought, well, I'll look around and see if I can find something that I can afford and something that would accommodate more sleeping room. And so I looked on OfferUp, and there was a lady that was selling the Eldorado. And so I was like, I'm gonna go check it out, So I did. And I took my mechanic friend with me who lives out in Tonopah, and the lady that was selling it lived out in Tonopah as well. And so we drove it around, and it sounded really good and everything. And for the most part, it's ran really good. I did have some issues though with the brakes at first, and that's why I didn't quite make it out there, when you guys were out there. And so to find somebody that would work on it was kind of like a touch and go, because you're talking about, our rigs are like 20 something feet, like 26, 27, I think. And so I was just like, who's going to do it? So finally I did find somebody in Tolleson that he did the brakes, but that was after the first two guys, because they tried to fix the brakes. They put new brake pads on, and that wasn't working. It kept grinding. And I'm like, gosh, what is this? And then the ABS light kept coming on. And I thought, man, what next? And so finally, I did find the guy in Tolleson, and it was the caliper, the right caliper, that was like pushing in together, and it wasn't releasing. So it was making that grinding sound, So probably about $700 and some later, the brakes are fine now. The only thing is that the ABS light does come on occasionally, which is kind of hit or miss kind of thing. I don't have any problems with the brakes, but I think it's just sensors. So I've got to go. There's a couple places in Phoenix that I can take it to, but I don't want to get taken because all these RV places, you just got to really be careful, because they'll just try to charge you over $1,000, I've had a couple times that happened to me. So I just haven't really done anything with it yet, but I'm not too worried about it because the brake pads are good. I need to get the back brakes checked, but I don't have any problems. It doesn't, smell funny or sound funny in the back or anything like that. So I think it's okay for a while. So
cool.
Good.
I'm going to have to, if you want to talk a little bit about your travels, I need to step away for just a minute. My computer's going dead, and I need to go grab the cord. So if you just want to share some of the things you've done, I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. What can I tell you? Well, I've been back and forth to Wisconsin. I'm originally from Wisconsin, and I've been back and forth in my Toyota. Like I said, I have a 91 Toyota Horizon, and it's a great little runner. And I still have it. I'm thinking about maybe selling it, but I just want to make sure that the Eldorado is going to be good before I do that, because the Toyota, it is like run like a champ. I guess, change the oil and do all that stuff. And those Toyotas run forever. So, but I did revamp the whole inside. And the problem I had was that I took the bathroom out because I wanted more sleeping room. Because with the Toyota, you've only got the overhead cab, and you've got the couch area. Well, I took it all out. I had a new, all new wiring and everything put in. And, you know, it's cute. I painted the inside and painted the cabinets. But anyhow, but yeah, I went back to Wisconsin. I've been down to Florida. I've been to all the southern states and stuff like that. But now that, you know, I've got grandkids and everything, I thought I'd just get something a little bit bigger. So I'm hoping that my Eldorado is going to give me the same good luck as my Toyota did. So
cool. And I'm so sorry, I confused your name, Linda.
Campgoer One. And my first name's Linda.
Yes, yeah. I'm so sorry. I was looking at, for some reason, I was thinking your name was Sue. But I know you're definitely.
Yeah, Sue is my friend that I met from Camo Dave on his channel, and she lives up north of Phoenix in Show Low. So we got to chatting, and I had considered moving up to Show Low, and you know, I still haven't got that out of the back of my mind yet. I just, with the prices of the real estate and everything right now, everything is so pricey. So I really haven't found anything that's, you know, worth my move at this point. So
I need to make Greg Burris. I don't know who you are, and I don't know who Butterfly Gypsy is. And so
just go ahead. I mean, they're trolls. Just trust me. I'll talk to you about it more later. But but yeah, just block them. Yeah.
Okay. If somebody could take care of that for me, appreciate it, Kaylee.
Yeah.
All right. So you are an experienced camper, and you are a single woman camper, correct?
I am. Yeah. I take my kids most of the time if I travel. You know, my daughter goes with me. I have a 30-year-old daughter that's has Williams syndrome. Then she's disabled, but she's really high functioning and stuff. So we go here and there together, you know, if it's not in the camper, which I really haven't taken any long trips yet in the Eldorado, but I hope to in October. I want to go to Lollapalooza. I wanted to go so bad last year. I told myself this year is if I got to crawl to get there, I'm coming, you know? Yeah. So
sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Right. Yeah. I went to the RTR back in 2018, and that's when I met a lot of people. I met, you know, Nomadic Fanatic. I met Aja, Pandemonium. You know, of course, Terry and Scott, Destination Open Road. Randy, the Mobile Traveler. I met him too. You know, I met a lot of people out there, and it was really fun. And I thought, you know, this is just, I wanted to get into more camp because back in Wisconsin, they got tons of camp places there. And it's just so different. I mean, you live in Oregon, you know how green and lush it is. And out in the desert, it's just kind of a different kind of an animal, you know?
It is.
But it's, I'm just used to the green camping, you know? So, but I like either or, you know, it's good to get away. I went to Lake Havasu as well just recently and met up with Jamie and Nomadics. And he puts some air, what do they call it? Max Air fans in the Eldorado. Yeah, so I have those now. If you're going to get different fans, get Max Air. Don't get the other kind. The Max Air are better. Yeah.
Really? Because I have heard that. Eventually, we would like to put two in, one at the front and then one in the bedroom area. So, do you also have the? Because what year is your Eldorado?
The coach is a 96 and the chassis is a 95. So the body was built first, or the mechanics of it was built first, and then the back part was added in 96. So it's 95, 96.
Okay. So do you have the twin beds in the back?
Yes.
Like mine?
Yes.
Okay.
It
is. Okay, so since I do have a partner I travel with, and I actually enjoy him and I like looking at him, even when he's sleeping at night, sometimes I peek over and just make sure he's still there.
Right. I get you.
But we've been married 37 years, I believe it's 37 years. So yeah,
long time.
But that cabinet in the middle, and I'd love to eventually do a walkthrough of your RV. I'll talk to you about that later, but that's something one of the changes I'm doing to my channel is so that I can get the best bang for my buck, so to speak. I love doing interviews. I will always do interviews. It is kind of the core of what I really enjoy. But I now would like to do, walk through people's RVs like we're doing here, except it's your RV. Anyways, so I have thought about taking that top half of the cabinet off, the armoire part of it. I talk with my hands. Oh God, if I didn't have hands, I'd be in trouble. I would be in trouble personally. So I've thought about taking the armoire piece off and putting a nice tabletop on there. Then it would feel a little more open, because it does.
Right.
I'm claustrophobic, and
I am too.
It feels a little enclosing in there.
In the hallway, from in front of the stove where the bathroom is, I wish I could open that up. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it does feel kind of claustrophobic. Yeah.
Eventually, I would like I know that if we ever went full, which I don't. So one of the reasons I am not sure about what we're going to be doing is the house situation. We just don't know if we're going to be able to keep it. And we've come up against the wall kind of. And so I'm not sure. I want to have an alternative, of course. And by the way, I am not, even if I could, I'm not paying $1,000 a month in rent. And here in Eugene, Oregon, the average rent for like a 2-bedroom, a 1-bedroom is about $700 to $1,200 for an apartment. I'm not going to do that. I would rather live on my own terms. It's not that I want to leave the area, because there are, plenty of areas to live.
Yeah. And it's beautiful there from what I understand. I've never been there, but I've always wanted to go, up that way to check it out. My mom and dad have friends that their son lives up there somewhere by Eugene or something, out kind of like in the country or something. Yeah.
There's it's beautiful. You see the picture that's here behind where we're behind our faces. That's a picture I took locally. We have the Willamette River running right through Eugene, and we are very green. But that also means we have
water.
A lot of
rain.
Yes. When we came back from Quartzsite, that's what I came home to, and it really depressed me. It really, and I love rain. I sleep at night with my smart TV with a rain channel on. And so I love rain, but coming home to it after all that sun, it just really affected me in a way I didn't anticipate. So
now, let me ask you, when you were in Quartzsite, did it rain at all? I don't remember if it rained during that time frame.
I think there was 1, maybe 2 sprinkles during the morning. Okay. But you know what we did get there was a tremendous amount of wind, and that in the desert with all the dirt and whatnot.
Did you have your mask on when you went outside? That's really important in Arizona. People don't understand. I've been here for 11 years, since 2009. And prior to that, I lived here in the 80s because my son's father is from Phoenix. Yeah. So, and I was here when it was totally different. I mean, it was really nice back in the 80s, but now it's like, and I didn't realize this until it happened to me like 3 different times. Where my house is, it used to be all farmland, and a lady that owned it farmed this whole area. And because of that, there's a lot of chemicals in the dirt, from the farmlands. And I would go outside, like when you're in the Midwest or you get weeds in the yard, you just, put the hose out there and get out there and pluck them out, and just softens the ground. Not in Arizona. But the thing of it was, I learned is that every time I went outside in my Crocs in the yard, I would have like all the water hitting my feet because I'd get the water wet. Well, once the water is wet, it activates that chemical that they use for farming.
Oh.
Yeah. So 3 different times I got deathly sick. I mean, like so sick that fever and everything really bad. But the thing of it is, out here in Arizona, what people don't understand is that there's valley fever is very, very prevalent out here. It's really bad. I mean, you can see people that have lived here, like Sue, for instance, her son, Tav, he has lungs. She showed me a video, or a picture rather, of his lungs, and that's because of all inhaling. And they're nomadic. They, Sue has a schoolie. She's been in for over 30 years, So she lives in her schoolie. But yeah, the dust out here, when it gets dusty, get your mask on. Yeah.
We did when it was a tremendous amount of dust, like when we had dust storms going on, we just stayed in our RVs, that was the thing. We stayed in our RVs. And then one time, however, okay, so you talked about valley fever. So one of my sisters, an older sister of mine, Patricia, who's not on here today, she lived in Phoenix for 13 years. Well, in a suburb of Phoenix. I can't remember the name of it, but she lived in the area, and she got valley fever, and it affected her for a long, long time. Yeah. And I know that Carolyn from Carolyn's RV Life, do you know her?
Yeah.
She has valley fever, or had it, and I believe did her dog as well. They have been checked. She's recovering and whatnot, but it's not anything to play with. And we have a beagle who's part of our channel, 21 years old. And we had a little concern because she's a beagle, she's a noser. And she'd get down to the dirt and be, with her nose, and we would have to get her off of that. And
that's very good point there, because, if you go into my channel, you see I do animal rescue too. There's a video that I posted on a little dog called Mama's, and I tried and tried and tried. She had Ehrlichia, which is a tick-borne disease out here in Arizona. Plus she had valley fever. I mean, I must have spent probably $1,000 out of pocket to try to save that little dog. And I just couldn't. I mean, and she died a violent death. It was horrible. My dogs are mostly inside because I do rescue, and I've got a few dogs right now, and I'm trying to find good homes. I've got a couple dogs that I want to adopt out, and I'm looking for nomadic people, because I know that, the shelters, if somebody that's a nomad comes to a shelter and wants to adopt, they're very picky. If you don't have a house and a yard and all that for them, they don't want to adopt. But it's very few and far between that I find good people that I can really trust. Like I just adopted out one of the dogs probably about a year and a half ago, and he is with this wonderful, wonderful man that he takes the dog everywhere and has it like a service dog now, that he can take it into the stores, everything. And he's just a wonderful man. But it's so hard to find good people that will take care of them, Sure. And I know even since the virus, the dogs that they have in the hospitals and stuff like that, they put masks on the dogs. So you can do that. You can get masks for your dog. If you're out in the desert, find those dog masks and put those on there. Especially when it's really windy out here, I don't even let the dogs outside because the dust gets to blowing, and you can get really sick. Yeah.
Right. I want to say thank you to Rory and Becky. I don't yet have a little musical thing to do, but let me just say, please drop Roy and Becky's link. And this whole process this part of being a channel is new to me. And so, Roy, you're again one of the people I'm going to emulate. And so I'm going to try to figure out how you did your. Oh, God, see, I'm so excited. I almost threw my computer. So I'm gonna be trying to figure out how you do your little thing. Because you know what, I appreciate it so much. It's not even money. It's just the fact that somebody wants to support us. So thank you so much.
Nice.
I did have a Patreon channel, but I could never really. I like staying on one platform. I'm staying on YouTube. I dismembered my Patreon channel. It's no more. I had like 3 people. They were all family, by the way, except for Kaylee. Kaylee was a member. I love her. She's just so supportive. So anyways, thank you, Roy and Becky. So drop their link. All right. So you do have other things on your channel. By the way, I am a dog person through and through. I love them so much. When we lost the last dog that we intentionally got, which we didn't intentionally. My little sister Priscilla, who's on here, worked at the local Humane Society, and she called me one day and said, we have a litter of Rottweilers, baby, newborn, very young Rottweilers, and they have to go to, they have to be put into foster homes because they cannot be in the general population of other puppies, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, I will not foster a dog. I'm not, because I know me. And she said, oh, so I went and I looked at it. She goes, I'm fostering one. So I went and I looked at them. Mm-hmm. And they were beautiful little adorable Rottweiler puppies, German Rottweilers. And I saw this one I liked as a little girl, and I picked her up, and I was wearing a white t-shirt. I remember this plain as day. And I was holding it right here on my chest, and you know what she did? She peed right down the front of me. Oh my God, if she went to that trouble to get someone to love her.
Oh yeah, gotta love one of the puppies.
we ended up adopting her, and we had her, I think, about 7 years, and she got lymphoma cancer. And to work with that is about $10,000. I was informed, and it usually only gives them about an additional year of life. And if I had needed $10,000 for my own self, I wouldn't have had it. So I didn't have it for a dog. And it's one of the most difficult things to know that there was nothing, all we could do was give her a particular medication for a while that reduced the inflammation. And she had about 30 days from the date of her diagnosis. And then that day came when she was doing great. She could walk around the yard. She was eating, drinking. And then one morning she woke up and she could not lift her head. Mm-hmm. And I called Richard at work and I said, this is the day. And so we took her in, and she was euthanized. And I have her little box of, it's a bigger box. Ashes. Yep, I got her ashes. And so that was like back about 2010-ish. 2008 to 10, and I didn't want another dog. And then my nephew and his girlfriend moved in with 2 dogs, the sweetest pit bull you could imagine, and a beagle. The beagle.
Beagles are fun. They're very boisterous. They like to talk.
From the day we're sleeping on our bed. Yeah. Oh God. Yes, when we leave and we come back, if we have not taken her with us, she bays like she's being kicked or tortured, and she runs around so happy and excited. I've never known anybody who loves me that much. I mean, really, Richard does not run around excited. I want to say hello to Cynthia Pollock. Thank you for coming in. Very happy you're here. Today we have with us, we have Campgoer One, who's talking about her life. In her part of her life is camping, and she also does other things like many people do. All right, so I think, let's see, do you ever plan on going full-time or more part-time where you're out for long periods of time?
You know, it's funny that you say that, because I'm at the point in my life now, I'll be 62 in August, and I've got 3 grown kids. My son works all the time. My other daughter, she's got 3 kids and got her boyfriend. She just had her 3rd kid with. And I have this house here in Phoenix, and I'm going stir crazy. It's just like, I look at it where, like, when you're over 50 and you have to look at yourself like, well, okay, my life is half over with. That's if I live to be 100, okay?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, as long as things are good at my home front, that's what I want to do. But I need to be comfortable because, you know, I went to courtside. I didn't really have heat because I didn't have my propane tank. You remember the last time I was gonna come out, okay, and I had that propane incident, and that's another that's a scary one. Sue was with me when that happened. But if I could get, you know, some help, it's just, you know, when you're a single woman and you go to these RV places, they don't really want to help you. You know, they just want your money. You're just a number to them. And if I had somebody, and I joke with this to TR Bolin, I watched this guy, he's out in Idaho, and he's a really nice guy, and he's got a great channel, so everybody will check him out. So if you want to know anything about RV stuff, everything from, you know, black tanks to solar to whatever, he's the guy to go to, okay? And I was joking with him, and I said, if I only had a man to help me, you know, he just sat there and went, he didn't know what to say. It was so cute, you know. But yeah, I mean, if I had somebody that could help me with, you know, putting in, you know, the AC, you know, something that I could have, and I wouldn't have to worry about sweating my guts off, or you know, freezing in the winter. I mean, because courtside even gets cold in the winter, you know.
Yes.
If I had some more comforts, man, I'd be wanting to get out of here so fast. I mean, and I have a house here, and, you know, my mortgage is low enough that you could never find an apartment for what I have, an 1,875 square foot house. Never, you know? So I wouldn't want to sell my house because my mortgage is so cheap. But if I had some people to travel with, because I'm not really, I like to say, I'm a kind of a people person, so I like to have company, you know. If I had a convoy, if I had, you know, people to travel with, like, you know, I chit chat a lot with Timothy Painter. He's another YouTuber, and he's from Colorado, and he has, you know, his own thing. He's a lawyer, so I'm kind of like semi-retired kind of thing, as a property owner. Like I have properties too that, you know, I just sold a few of them because it gets to be too much of a headache otherwise. But I do have one, my house that I grew up in Wisconsin, and I've got great tenants right now. I mean, they are wonderful, and they're young kids, but they're so responsible. It's just unreal, you know. So, you know, this summer I'll be going to Wisconsin sometime. I'm not sure when, but I need to get up there because I need to put some central air in the house, because I did promise that if they did pay the rent on time, I would put central air in for them, because it gets humid in the Midwest. But you know, it's for a short time, but when I'm comfortable. But yeah, I'd like to go full time as long as my house is maintained here. I'd like to just go and travel. I mean, I know when I first met Aja, before she went in with the tribe and everything, I said to her, I said, we should get together and go places, because, you know, it's not any fun for me to go by myself. I mean, I have my daughter who I always take along too. And she's gone with me to the van builds, and not to the first RTR, but, you know, she likes to go with me when I go places. And not only that, I'm a guardian, so I do take her with me, you know. But yeah, you know, if I could find, you know, a little bunch of people, you know, that want to do that, hey, let's go, you know, I'm ready to go, you know.
Well, I ran across a new channel that I'm going to be working on doing an interview with her. She is a part-time nomad, and she's so I'm 59. You said you're 62.
I'll be 62 in August.
Okay, so you're still 61. I'm in October. I'll be 60, which is, as you already said, I have contemplated the next 20 years of my life.
Yep.
60 to 80 is no time at all.
I know. 40 to 60 is no time at all. It's like, where did it go? Yeah.
Totally, yes. I'm with you on that. And she is, I suspect, closer to 70. And I saw her out with a tent. She was in a tent. And it was either, I believe it was Arizona, or it could have, I don't think it was Utah. I think it was Arizona or New Mexico, but I'm fairly certain it was Arizona. She was with a bunch of women. I mean, there was like 30 people, 30, and they're all women. So connecting up with people is not as difficult as one might think. And I know that, you know, Cheap RV Living, correct?
Yeah, Bob. I met Bob.
Somebody
and Cody.
Yes, Bob and Cody, that dog, I just love him. I can't believe you can just let him run around and he's never gotten bit by a rattlesnake.
Well, Cody introduced himself to me.
Oh,
and then Bob turned around and looked at me and I said, hi, Bob. And he's like, hi. I said, you know, just real quick, you know, but yeah, it's, you know, the desert has a lot of, I guess, dangers that, you know, you just got to be cognizant of, you know, and just, you know, but he, like Bob says, you know, he wants Cody to live a full life, you know, and if that's, you know, I mean, anything can happen anywhere. It doesn't matter. I mean, even here in the city, I mean, you can't imagine how many animals are out running around in Arizona. I have stopped numerous city buses, got out there doing like this, you know, looking like this crazy old lady, you know, trying to stop traffic. And I literally do. So, yeah.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. You know, I don't think I would let my little dogs run around because I've got small ones. I do have one big one that I've had for the last 11 years. He's an Akita. But I couldn't take him camping because he's too protective and he's crazy. You know, the Akita are kind of, you know, they're not vicious, but they're very, very protective, you know, so, but yeah, the little dogs, I couldn't let them run around without having them on a leash, you know what I mean? Or at least being close by them, and Cody kind of wanders, you know, but Bob's been doing this for a long time, so he must know what he's doing. So.
Yes. Oh God. That's how I would have never met the rest of you had I not met him on his channel, Cheap RV Living. And I know that there is a way to connect with other people through the Cheap RV Living website, I believe, and also HOWA, Homes on Wheels Alliance.
And then also on Facebook too, they have fabulous, I think it's Fabulous RVing Women is another one, you know, that I go on there quite a bit too. I signed up for that and, you know, just put different things on there. And I'm trying to, like I said, I got two poodles right now. I have a boy. He's only has one eye, and that's because I used to volunteer for the trap neuter program, you know, here in Phoenix, and I would go set up traps for people that they like to feed the cats and stuff like that, but you don't want to have procreation all over the city, you know. So I would go and trap. Well, I was doing that one night. I was releasing, and my son called me frantic, and you know, the little dog, the little poodle that has one eye, he has this really weird habit. He likes to like nuzzle behind the neck of the other dogs, but not, you know, just to be fun, you know, having fun. But I think he did that to the Akita, and he turned around and got him. His eye was like hanging. Cost me $1,500 to get his eye sewed back up. Yeah, $1,500. But he's a really, really good little dog and stuff like that. But you know, it's hard to travel when you've got animals, you know, and especially when you've got several of them, you know what I mean? I mean, not just one. I mean, I've got several. I mean, I've got my Susie here she's going to be 14 in August, and she's got like a big lump right here in her throat. And I don't know, it could probably be cancer, or maybe a goiter or something, thyroid issues. I don't know, but wanted to get her teeth cleaned because I hadn't had them done in a couple of years. And I'm going to take her in tomorrow. I found a vet that does teeth cleaning that she doesn't have to put them under. You know what I mean? To you know, so they get in there and clean them all out and stuff, and they don't have to put them under anesthesia. So that's
really nice. Yeah.
And it's only $187.
Really?
I think that's what he said. He said cash was like a $187, I think it was, or $175 maybe cash and $180 or something. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. He just called me this morning and told me that he had a cancellation. So I said, well, how much money do I need to bring? And he told me so. I was like, yeah.
That's a deal.
Yeah, it sure is.
That's a deal.
Yeah.
Forever Best Friend, I'm sure you maybe you're familiar with her. That's her channel for fur babies, fur dogs, the dog channel, Forever Best Friend, Charlie Grace. And she is very close to her what she needs for monetization. And if someone could drop her link, and if there's anybody in here who is able to run her playlist, please help her out. Charlie Grace has got a wonderful channel. I know most all of us know who she is, and really would like to help her. I ran it part of the day yesterday, and then my son told me I had 3 different channels running their playlist. And my son said, Mom, that is the reason that we end up, what's it called? That it eats up our data. It eats up our data. And so I said, okay, well, here's the deal. When I go to bed, I'll turn it off. So I ran for about 12 hours, 10 hours, something like that. Well, you know what? I really have enjoyed talking with you, Linda.
Likewise, yes. Oh, I want to tell you something. Okay. You mentioned, I heard before I got everything organized here to get on the live stream, that you wanted to lose weight.
Yes.
Okay. Now listen to this one. Okay. About 3 years ago, I was like 187 pounds, something like that. I wasn't comfortable. I'm 5'8", so I'm pretty tall. I was in a size 12 and went to the doctor. My A1C was really up. I was type 2 diabetic. Doctor wanted to put me on the metformin. I said, no, I'm not doing it, right? So I changed my diet, right? I cut out my carbs. I don't eat anything over 6 grams of sugar, although I do cheat once in a while, birthdays or whatever. But what I did is I started a different thyroid medicine because I have a hypothyroid, which is underactive, okay? I used to be on levothyroxine for years, like over 30 years. Always was in a fog. You can always tell when somebody is on levothyroxine because it's a synthetic drug. It makes your face underneath here more rounded, for people that have thyroid issues that take that medication. Well, anyhow, I went on to a porcine thyroid. But what I did, okay, I was seeking out a compounding pharmacist. Compounding pharmacists are those that can put the medications together and create them, right? So I found this pharmacist in Goodyear, right off the 10, off Astoria Parkway, right? He's got this whole plethora of vitamins and just different things, right? Well, when I got COVID last June, got really sick, I didn't, I couldn't eat or anything like that. But what I was doing was I wanted to maintain, my health, so I went and I got these different vitamins and different things. Well, he told me about this stuff. It's right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's called, let me see if I got it right here. It's called Berberine. Can you see it? Oh, wait.
Yes.
There you go. Okay, Berberine. Okay. And what I did is I took these 3 times a day. Okay. And mind you, when I was overweight, my cholesterol alone was like over 200. Okay. It probably was close to 300. My triglycerides were like 200 and something. I started taking this and I got off of that synthetic thyroid medicine and went on the porcine thyroid medicine, which is the pig thyroid. I lost weight like crazy. I mean, I went from a size 12 to a 10 to a 9 to a 7 to a 5, 6. I was skinny. I got so skinny. It was unbelievable. And if you have problems with digestion, or if you've got a lot of acid reflux, or if you've got constipation problems, because my daughter, my oldest daughter, she had a lot of that. My daughter with the Williams syndrome. And I started giving her these because I was constantly in the hospital with her to find out why her stomach was hurting so bad. Went to stomach doctor, endocrinologist, everything. Couldn't figure it out. I started giving her Berberine. Not only does this lower your A1C, okay, your high blood sugar, It lowers your triglycerides. It lowers your total cholesterol. It helps increase your good cholesterol. This is like a miracle. This is like, really research this. I've taken this brand for 3 years now, and there was another brand that I took. I tried a different brand one time, but it made me feel like too gassy, kind of bloated feeling. But get yourself some of this. If you come down to Quartzsite next time, or come into Phoenix, right off Astoria Parkway, is Key Pharmacy. And Key gives me like 10, 12% off, something like that, every time I go in, because I refer so many people. I mean, I'm probably like a third of his clients, get from me, because I blab about it, but this is really, really good. If you want to lose some weight, try this, so, but that's what I wanted to tell you before I forgot.
Kaylee would like you to hold that up closer to the camera.
Okay.
And if you could send me either a text or an email with that name, because I don't have anything to write it down with. Berberine HC1.
Yeah, it's Berberine HCI. And then if you look on the back, and there's the ingredients, it's like, HCI. And then there's the ingredients on the back. It's like 500 milligrams, I think it is. But I take it 3 times a day. I take it twice a day now. I take it in the morning and I take it in the afternoon or in the evening, before I go to bed. But it's done wonders for me. I love it. I got all my kids on it too, Well, my youngest daughter, she don't want to take nothing less. It's a Tylenol, but that's very farm, not very often. But anyhow, this is it. So, yeah.
Okay. I typed it in, Berberine HCI, so I do have it in my head. Now, somebody else wanted to wanted to know how to spell it. Wow.
Berberine.
It is so. I am an anomaly in the medical world. My A1C is 5.3, and that's hard to imagine. I was over a 7. I have lost in my life, so I lost 100 pounds, and then I had both of my knees replaced, and my left one first and my right one, had injuries to each one of them after the replacement within a month. One, our German Shepherd, accidentally bumped into the side of my leg, but he's almost 100 pounds, and he's a muscle dog. Big, he's huge for a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
And I had a severe strain, possibly tear to my lateral quad on my left leg. And then my right leg, I went to get in our truck. I was going to drive, and it was 3 weeks post-surgery. Now, mind you, I had no pain, basically, with those surgeries. Once they took out my old knees that felt like rocks were in them grinding away, it was like heaven. I didn't even use pain medicine, and that's honest to God truth. I did not use pain medicine. But when I kicked my leg up just a little bit, not hard, because I knew I just had surgery 3 weeks ago and a new knee put in, and my leg pulled up. It didn't snap the quad, but the lateral quad, it either tore or but at the very least, it caused a serious problem. It pulled up behind my leg. It pulled up backward. Ooh. And I was leaned over the driver's seat in the car, in the truck, screaming for help. Called 911. It was the worst. There's no pain in my life I've ever felt that I can tell you is like that. And it happened 3 times, 2 in one leg and 1 in the other. And each time it's the same symptom. It is the leg pulls up in the back and I cannot walk. I cannot bear. They have to take me to the hospital. And here at this hospital, I've gone into a short care unit that's like for 24 hours. And where they have to work with physical therapy and medication to get that muscle to release. And it's an astronomically bad pain. And it happened when my father was still alive. One time last year, it happened. And I was in his room, and I sat on a chair that was too low, and I went to get up and push up, you know, and it just happened.
Hey Dave, I'm on the live stream with Burning Up the Roads right now. All right, dear.
Bye. Hello. When you talk to him, tell him hello from Burning Up the Roads.
I will.
And so I warned my father. I said, so I called 911. EMTs were coming, and I warned my dad that it's going to be painful, Dad, and I'm probably going to scream. So don't be. It will ease up once they get me laid down on the gurney, but I will scream, and there's no way not to. And sure enough, so they scooch my chair over by the gurney, and they go to lift me up, and I scream. I was screaming, and my dad was 94 at the time, and he's screaming obscenities of them to get her some effing medication. I'm trying to calm my dad down while I'm screaming. It was a horrible experience. And my little sister, Priscilla, who has been on here, she's coming down the hall, going to visit our dad too. And she didn't know this was going on. And she thought something had happened with our dad.
Oh, yeah.
Because here's EMTs kind of in and out the door. And let me tell you, it's just nothing I wish on anybody. It's so it's taken a lot longer for this to heal, but there's nothing I've done better for my life than that. So as far as the weight loss, I would like someone. I would. Hi, there's my son, but you can't see him. I would like you to drop the link for. Oh God. He has a channel, Van Life Rocks.
Okay.
And he started a channel, Keto Rocks.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Somebody dropped that channel. I love him. Ray is adorable. I thought he was like 20, and he's like 45. And I swear, he looks like a boy. And I mean, he's so young looking. And then I went over to his keto channel, and I watched, he showed some pictures of a few years ago where he had gained, for him, a tremendous amount of weight, like to 225. And I think he's down around 180, I think he's down around 170 now. And so he had done keto before, blah, blah, blah. He's doing it again. And so I am doing some keto, and I see the value in it. But my anomaly is that all of my my cholesterol numbers they're good, except for my triglyceride is a bit high.
The triglycerides is the one you got to be careful for.
Yes.
Because that takes up the space in the arteries.
And I understand that. And so, I'm working on that, but I don't eat fried foods. And that's one of the indicators is you're a fried food. I don't fry food. I just don't.
No, I don't either. Well, the thing of it is with keto, because I follow Dr. Berg. Do you know who Dr. Berg is? He's on YouTube. Yeah, look up Dr. Berg. He has a lot of good info on the keto diet and everything. And the only thing about the keto is, I do a lot of intermittent fasting. Like this morning, I haven't had anything to eat. I do drink some sugar-free coffee, even though I shouldn't, because I've got PVCs now after I had COVID, where my heart like double beats, But the thing about the keto is that you don't really want to. I mean, I don't want to. I don't know if anybody else, but you don't really want to get into ketosis because that could really hurt you. The keto diet I think is more based on a higher fat content than the carbs, lower carbs, higher fat. The high fat is not good for you either. So I think if anything, the intermittent fasting and just cutting back on the carbs. If you're going to eat some carbs, eat them in the morning. Like I don't eat boxed cereals. The only thing I eat is like oatmeal or multi-meal or like cream of wheat, Other than that, I don't even eat, maybe once in a great while I have like a little bit of Raisin Bran, but that has a little bit of sugar in it. But if you just stay under 6 grams of sugar, look at your like barbecue sauces, your salad dressings, all that, just as long as it's under 6 grams. I I found that, you know, eating a lot of salads and vegetables, not always so much in the fruits, because the fruits are high content sugar too.
Yep.
But if you do that, and like I said, you take this stuff, I'm telling you, you'll start dropping weight like you wouldn't, like you'll be going, where am I going?
So I will check into that, but someone did just quick, I think, Sue, you're talking about Voltaren, and I have used Voltaren, and yes, it does work. It does work well. I did get some knots in the front of my knees underneath after the surgery that are kind of painful, but you know, it's way better than walking on rocks. But someone pointed out that there is a lot of salt. Apparently, there's something salty about that medicine that you talked about. I personally have to look at that because I apparently have had congestive heart failure. And I say that apparently because my new doctor can't really pinpoint that. And I take what I call a pee pill when I feel like I've got fluid. And so I am learning how to balance everything out. I still will check that out because I am on so anyways, I definitely will check that out. Anything that could help.
When you take, you said you take something like a diuretic, like a water pill.
Yep.
Okay. Make sure that it's potassium sparing. Okay. Like I have triamterine's hydrochlorothiazide. You know, I don't have the bottle right here, but I used to take it for years and years, almost every day because my blood pressure was high, and I do take blood pressure medicine. But you want to make sure that it's not that it is potassium sparing. So kind of like look it up online, whatever your prescription is, yes, and look and see if it is potassium sparing, because if it drains the potassium from your body, that's not good either.
No,
you know?
Oh no,
because yeah, because I used to I couldn't figure out for the longest time, like, why was my legs cramping? It's because I was low on potassium. But I found a trick that if you get leg cramps, okay, the best thing, and it works like that, is pickle juice. Always have pickle juice.
I love pickle juice.
Always have pickle juice. I mean, middle of the night, I would have Charlie. I was just so bad. I'd be going, ah! And my kids would be looking at me like, what's wrong with you, Mom? You know, I'm like, my legs are cramping, you know? And then I found pickle juice. You take a sip of that pickle juice and walk it out, it's gone. Amazing.
Oddly, I do crave dill pickle juice, and I crave salsa. So my salad dressing, and I apologize if there's people who just, you know, want to hear only about camping. Which you know what, though, we're whole people, and so there's more to what, and so there's more to doing, you know, being a human than. I wish it was just my life was about camping, but it's not. Because I do have to eat. But salsa is my general salad dressing.
Salad dressing.
I love it. But I do crave, and oh God, habaneros, and I'm just someone who. So in my process of this, since I came back, I've lost about 10 to 12 pounds, somewhere around there. Good. And I'm being more intentional about everything that I eat. I told my son yesterday, please, Brent, do not get a cake. When they went to the store, I'm like, please don't bring home a cake. I'm really not a sweets eater to start with. So if I waste calories on cake, it's not generally it's not an enjoyable waste of calories, to be honest.
Right.
He did get a small cheesecake, and I had a small slice of cheesecake, but I don't depend on that. You know, for me, it is bread. Bread is the love of my life. I haven't baked bread in over a year because I bake bread really well. I know how to make challah bread. I know how to make the big giant cinnamon rolls, and yes. And so I don't do it once in a while. At the fall is when I get a desire to do some cooking. What I do now is I'm making soup every week.
There you go.
I love soups, and there's something that I can eat on throughout the day. So I'm doing the intermittent fasting too. I would.
Oh,
I didn't have 8 yet. When I was feeding my dog, I chopped up, huh?
You froze up for a second, but you're back. You're fine.
Oh, okay. When I fed Patty this morning, I chopped up a chicken breast, part of a chicken breast, and I put that in her food, and then I ate like a small chunk of chicken breast. But I normally have been fasting until about 1 o'clock. It's not a problem for me, and I don't.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
not missing anything.
Yeah,
so,
1 o'clock is good.
Yes. All right, sweetie. So I really, I knew I was gonna click with you. And I'm so happy that we got to talk.
Me too.
And I will talk to you about doing a tour of your RV, especially since it's like mine. I did see when I was looking at that one clip, it was looking from my driver's seat back,
Right.
And there's so much, there's just so much to this life that is not easy. By the way, I'm not going to be the person who sits here and says, oh, it is a dream every day. You always have YouTube moments, YouTube pictures. We ate from paper plates. We did not have any nice place for this.
Like trying to empty your black tank. Oh, it's a nightmare. Especially when the shit's dropping all over the place and you don't know what to do. I was like,
oh my God. Yes. Actually, in our case, we were up getting ready to empty it, and Richard could not get the stinky slinky out because it was in where the bumper area where a lot of people put theirs. It was trapped, and we didn't have any. We got out. I don't remember what he got out, but he was trying to push it through. And this lady in this beautiful, by herself, by the way, and I'd say she's probably early 50s, mid 50s, in a beautiful Class A. She goes, "Are you having trouble?" And by that time, he was a way not happy person because people are lining up behind us. They want to dump their shit.
And they're impatient.
Yes.
They are impatient.
Start walking around. So she actually had an item she was carrying with her. It was like a pool where you can grab stuff when you're on the deck of a pool. And she helped him with that, and they got it out, and it was taken care of. But yes, that was definitely not. Although it should have been, I wasn't taping it. I don't think. I just wasn't.
Sometimes you forget. Sometimes you just something funny comes up, or something really is, that you think, oh, where's my camera? But it's been hard for me. I'm a different person. Then I don't want to you try to be kind of reserved. You don't want to be like too crazy on the internet, like Camo Dave, when he and I talk, almost twice a week, and it's like, it's different when you're talking on the phone with somebody, but when you're online and you've got all these eyeballs on you, you get kind of nervous sometimes. I do anyhow, so
yes.
I may be a little more reserved. I'm trying to come out of my shell, but it's kind of hard sometimes, But I was going to mention to you too.
No, it is.
Yeah. Check your refrigerator. Don't forget to check your refrigerator, because there's a link for TR Boland's website that he talks about refrigerators, and especially the ones that we have in our particular rig. How something gets too overheated and starts a fire. So I'm going to look at it getting a different one. I'm going to look at one of those. I think it's called Epicool or something like that.
I've heard of that. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to look into that and maybe take that refrigerator out and then get maybe something that can slide it in and out if it's not too long, But yeah. Does your refrigerator work on your rig?
Okay, so.
Or the fridge works, but not the freezer. Isn't that what you're saying?
The freezer works because the whole thing is a freezer.
Oh.
And that is a replaced. So when we got it, of course, the people tell us everything works. except we knew when we bought it that the generator did not work, but it only has like 124 hours on it. And I'm like,
Mine don't work either.
We'll be able to figure it out, for gosh sakes. It's 124 hours old. It's not like it ran a lifetime. And no, we never did figure it out. And we have had professionals to look at it. So the same, so I believe it was a different professional, professional RV technician comes out to the house, and he says that it's dead. And so he has one to sell us that's lightly, that's a quote, lightly used.
Lightly.
Lightly used. And so he brings it out, and sure enough, they had to do a little cutting, but he got it in there. And it has never been, when we're parked, if we have food in it, we have to leave the door open a crack. And we do have a thermometer in there to keep track of how cold it is. And, it generally runs about 10 degrees.
Wow.
It's not open. It runs about 10 degrees. And if we adjusted to that, because we didn't have the money to go out and buy. Yikes. We didn't have the money to go out and buy a brand new one. So, by the way, the man has not gotten the rest of his money, and he has been told that it does not work. So,
right.
Not giving him $500 for a freezer when it was supposed to be a refrigerator with a small freezer. I'm like I said, I'm gonna get one of those portable kind. I got to get some solar panels for it though, because I don't want to go the propane route. It's scary. We have propane, and I got used to it. I know how to light my oven. I know how to light my stove.
Maybe that's something you'll have to teach me.
It scared me at first. It scared me at first. I would never tell somebody to do something they were not comfortable with, but maybe if you watched, a number of videos, whether it be ours or other people's, just watch some videos on the safety of it. Now, you can have it checked, to make sure that it's safe. But I know that our refrigerator, I believe, works on propane and shore power, but it will not work on a generator. So I believe that works. But it worked fine. It worked fine. We also have a catalytic heater in there that was an aftermarket. But somebody bought one and had it put it installed.
Okay.
Works very well. And so there's things I had to adjust to, and I'm still not adjusted to. I live in a house with forced air heat and air conditioning. Okay, so traveling, you made a comment about it is cold in the desert. It went down to like 36, 38 degrees at night, not uncommon in Quartzsite, which I wasn't expecting, because in the day I got burned. And we would wake up, and I'm not used to that. I live in a house that it does, the heat stays on. It stays on all night at whatever degree we put it at. And at night, if our solar was not fully charged, it would have trouble in the middle of the night. It wouldn't crank over. I mean, so the blower was going, but it wasn't blowing heat. And there were several times we would have to get up and turn the engine on, and that's what got it going. And I don't care for that. So, I know this is going over, and if you need to stop, that's fine. I can go to 12:30, but I have an appointment. It's almost time. Well, darn it. There's so much more to talk about with you.
I know.
The whole experience of camping in an RV is new to us. And I love it when you've asked some questions, and it's made me think. You sent me an email or after a video, and it made me think. So what is that? How do we do that? Why do I not know what she's talking about when I've heard about that? So I appreciate things like that from our viewers. It helps me learn how to do this, because I don't want to be a fool when I'm talking about what how our RV
Yeah.
works.
Well, and even the little things, like, I have one of those little buddies, and electric and propane are big things that in gas are big things that you got to really respect, and if you don't know what you're doing, you got to ask for help. And I know I was at the van build one year, I think it was, I don't know, 2019 or something like that, and I didn't know how to start this little buddy, and people were looking at me like, and then because I went over by Caravan Carolyn's little group, and this one guy laughed. I said, oh, you think that's funny, do you? That I didn't know how to do it. And Blue Van Dan says, come here, Linda. He says, I'll help you. And he was very nice. Yeah, he helped me. Because it was scary, because I didn't know. I mean, I go camping in the summertime. I don't go in the wintertime typically. Since I moved to Arizona, I have gone out to Quartzsite and to Lake Havasu, but just things that you don't know. It's just nice to have a community that people will help you. And especially, I mean, most of the people that I've met, with the exception of just a couple people, were very nice, and that's just the thing. It's like helping each other, and that's why to me, it's important that you have like the sense of community and stuff, and you have people that, maybe that you can travel with, or that, will help you, because this is how you learn. This is how you can share your knowledge with somebody else too, as well. And because when you're first starting out, or, you've never experienced it before, it can be very, very scary, very intimidating. And you're like, it's like the first time that I had, my gas line hooked up in my Toyota, I was so ecstatic that I could make oatmeal in the morning. You wouldn't believe. I was like, oh my God, I can have a cup of hot tea and some oatmeal. Yes.
Right. Those kind of things matter.
Yeah. And just knowing that, when you go to light a gas stove, you turn on your little lighter thing first, and then you turn your propane on, A lot of people don't know that. They might, turn on the gas and then woof,
Right.
It's like, your propane on your grill outside, I mean, I get on like this, I turn it on, and then I put that little thing in there, and I'm
yes. Oh God. I do the same. I was doing that with the oven, but with the oven, and yes, I baked brownies when I was in Quartzsite for everybody months. When you have to get down in order to see into the oven, where that, at least in ours, where you light it at, and
with the pilot.
Richard, yes, the pilot, and Richard did that to start with several times, and then I thought, okay,
I can do this.
Hey, you've got to get past this. You want to live like this, even part-time. I got to be able to do it. Anyways, there's stuff I missed, I know. But people are asking if you would come back again, maybe sometime in the next month or so after we do your tour, if possible. We could talk about it, and then I'll have a list of things to cover.
we can both, what I don't know, maybe you know. What you don't know, maybe I know.
Absolutely. Here's someone who knows a lot too. Fairy dust. Okay. I love fairy dust. Fairy dust Pena. She's had a couple different names, but she's the one who, when we were traveling to California, she's in that Southern California area, and she really did a lot of our navigation, and I felt so bad after I realized how much I put on our channel followers, because all I knew in my head is I'm going to LA, or somewhere around LA, and turn left. And I know that sounds like childlike, and it really was. I just saw Quartzsite, Arizona in my crosshairs, and I'm like, I'm going to Quartzsite. I know that you go to Southern California and you make a left. And there's a lot more to it, by the way. And
and maybe next time, I was looking at the map, and you guys are by what, Eugene?
Yes.
Eugene. Okay. What about going down through Nevada?
Yes. Yep. That's the next time.
Yeah, I think that would be a better route, because I remember when you guys were kind of confused on which way to turn, and I was on the live stream, and I was looking at the map and stuff, and And I thought, man, too bad they didn't go down that other top side and then go down Nevada and then down into what's it called? I don't know, up in Arizona, up in the top there. Then you go down into there and then cut across down 95, I think it is, into Quartzsite. I think that might be a better route to take than going through California. And the gas might be cheaper too.
Well, the reason we didn't go is we left about the middle of January. And it was still there's a lot of snow going through central Oregon. See, that requires us to go over a pass here in central Oregon. And so I was not remotely comfortable with that. I'm like, I am not going over a pass, which, by the way, I went over a pass. I went over Cajon Pass instead. And so, you know, it just seemed like the safest way to go. And we ended up, I don't know if you were there the day it happened, but the first day or the second day, we went over the pass here in Oregon that just it was the Siskiyous. And I was driving because Richard could not drive at that time. And so I drove the whole way to Quartzsite. But what happened is I'd never driven an RV except we went to the coast for New Year's Eve. We went to the coast for about 4 days. And because we have a 1,000 Trails membership, and went to the coast, and that wasn't too bad because there wasn't that many vehicles on the road. But going over Siskiyou is a different animal. It's a very twisty, very steep. Yeah. The Southern Oregon to like right past, like to maybe 100 miles into California is nothing but hills. And is it
winding? Is it winding hills?
It's up and down, and we're talking up and down, up and down, and it does wind. And I stalled at the very top of Siskiyou Summit, right as we were getting ready to come down, and it overheated. I didn't know to put it into a different gear.
Take it out of overdrive. Take it out of overdrive. When you're going through the mountains, take it out of overdrive. Very important.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think that's the thing that I learned the hard way, because not with my RV, but with I had a van when I moved out to Arizona, and I was towing a trailer. I was going up and down the hills in New Mexico, and when you hear that engine, that where you can hear it like it's roaring, you got to have it out of overdrive, because that burns out the tranny like that. I got stuck. I forget the name of the little town. It's right outside of Albuquerque, going towards the Continental Divide. And I wasn't going nowhere. I mean, I just barely got off at the little scenic overdrive. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then, you're out in the middle of nowhere with nobody to help you. And it was just me and my disabled daughter. And I'm like, oh my God, luckily, I mean, I must have had somebody watching over me, because I called 911. One of the guys in Laguna, he was an officer in Laguna, came out. He lived in Albuquerque, and his wife and him had this big, huge house, and they had a guest house. They offered me to stay there. I towed my vehicle and the trailer from there down to Albuquerque and stayed with them for 3 days. He found somebody to help me with my transmission. $900 later, I was out of there and on my way back to Phoenix. But it's scary. If your tranny goes out, it was really scary. So I had an angel watching over me that day, that time frame too. So, I got really lucky.
It's scary. So when we came back, I wanted to be the one who came back over Siskiyou, since I knew how to do it now. So I drove from Red Bluff. We drove from Red Bluff home, and on the last leg was Red Bluff to Eugene, and I knew how to do it, and we were fine. We were fine. I want to point something out here that. Hello, Glory Self on Wheels. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
I'm Glory. Working with her to get an interview as well. I love her channel, love her RV.
I missed meeting her as well. Darn it.
I got to meet her. I did get to meet her. So that
Next
was
time.
one of the people I got to meet. Troy, Nomadic Rat Pack. Kaylee, I remember you sending Lucretia the gift of paper maps. Actually, she sent me a book on, it's called The Last Stop or something. It talks about the different things, like if I want to stop at, find the stops, a truck, tells you like truck stops, it tells you different rest areas, that kind of stuff. Kim from Rometown Girl, she got me into these maps that are from each region. There's like 3 different regions books that you can get. And so she sat down with me with hers, and we looked at, it talks about the different elevations. Let's say I knew I was coming back to Oregon, and it talked about, for instance, I would look up different areas on there about coming back, the different ways back. It talks about the routes. It shows you what the elevation is. It even tells you how risky a certain pass is. And actually, Siskiyou Pass is considered one of the most dangerous in the country. And so I didn't feel quite so bad when I noticed that. So, oh no, come on back. Come on back.
Okay.
And so anyways, all right. Well, I am running really, I wish I didn't have this appointment at about 1 o'clock, but I do. It's an important appointment for me. Otherwise, I'd love to stay on.
Send me some info on that, on those books or those maps or whatever.
Okay.
Send me the info on that if you would, please.
I will put it in the description of this, so anybody who wants to get it can have it. When I got home, waiting for me was the book for the region that I'll be traveling in most of the time, which is, all of the West, including clear over, Nevada, Utah, California, Arizona, so Idaho. I was very grateful to have that. So thank you so much for coming up here, Linda. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. It was really fun, and I'm so glad I got to chat with you and be here. It's fun. Yeah, and great.
We definitely will do it again and work on doing a video of your RV and coming back for another trip. All right. Thank you so much. Great. I'm going to drop you down.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye-bye. You too. Bye, guys.
Woo, that was nice. Troy's coming by today before dark to pick up. He loaned us on our trip to Arizona an inverter that it didn't really work for our RV for some reason, because it's not set up right yet. That's why. And so he's coming by to pick that up, and that will be nice to see him again for a few minutes even. And the plans for the rest of this week. So we've got appointments this week with doctors. However, there is a meetup. Well, it wasn't an official meetup until more people found out about it. But originally it was Van Life with Gina Payne. And oh goodness, if anybody knows all the channels, I know Lucy Wonelli's going to be there. Time for Exploring Tim is going to be there. Meant to Be RVing is going to be there. And I missed Meant to Be an RV. So when we were in Quartzsite. So there's going to be quite a few channels there, and it's going to be in my backyard, basically, at Alsea Falls. We cannot go camp, but we are going to go because Richard has some of the RV torn up in order to put this flooring in, and we also need some brake work done, which I didn't get to go over, but and we haven't been able to have it done. And so right now we are looking at these appointments, and then Wednesday, I believe Wednesday will be the day that we get to go to visit for the day with all the channels at, my camera's all screwed up, with the channels at Alsea Falls, which is beautiful. It's in the Coast Hills of Oregon. So that's what's going on. That's what we're going to be doing the rest of the week. I will be on here every Monday. I've got some interviews set up. I'm getting a few more set up. And then I believe on Thursdays, I'm not sure yet, but I'll have a little more information in the next week. But I believe on Thursdays, I'm going to be doing something different. And I'm going to be chatting with Van Vita Travels about some ideas. And Kaylee as well. So that's it for today. And I do thank the new people who popped in here and stayed around. I've seen, Rideshare Road Warrior Rick. Thank you for coming. You're newer to me. And Sue Kelly, I know you're a friend of Linda's, so thank you for coming. And I hope you'll come back. Every Monday, we're going to be interviewing most of the time. I can't always guarantee it 100%, but most of the time. It's one of the things I love to do because I get to meet all of you in person, as in person as this is. All right, so you guys have a great day. And again, thank you. Oh, thank you once again to our channel members, to our new channel members, Kaylee, and to Roy and Becky Travels. I thank you both for being members of the channel, and I will develop a nice little commercial for them. All right, guys, thank you. Have a great day. Stay healthy, stay safe, and be happy.